Hi everyone, my name is Sandy. So welcome to Tax Shelter. If you are a small businesses or an individual and you would like to learn more about tax in South Africa and you would like to hear someone simplify tax in South Africa because we have too many taxes in South Africa and it can get a little bit confusing, this is the channel for you. So I would urge you to go subscribe and like this video as well. It's a good video. It's going to be a good video. But anyway, let me just get into it. Today I'm going to be talking about fringe benefits. Now, why am I discussing fringe benefits? The reason I'm discussing fringe benefits, you find that it's tax season, and you find that some people they end up owing SARS at the end of the tax season, and almost 90% of the time the reason for this is because their HR departments, when they are calculating their tax, they don't include fringe benefits. Now, in their defense, sometimes you'll find that people start getting fringe benefits within the tax period. And by then, people are just, and by then, the HR department is applying one formula in order to calculate the same formula that we're using before you got fringe benefits, right? They don't adjust anything. But in some cases, you find that people just, they omit. It's human error, or sometimes, unfortunately, it's because people just don't care. Now, I'm going to explain to you what fringe benefits are and what are some of the fringe benefits that are most popular. The reason I'm doing this is because because it is your responsibility, calculate your own taxes using the SARS tax tables, you must try and see if you include your fringe benefits. That way you will see if your employer is deducting the correct tax from your from your income. And if they're not, then you can rush into your HR department and say, you know what, guys, I'd like you guys to increase the tax that you're deducting from me, rather than me at the end of the day owing SARS when tax season starts. I'd rather they owe me, or no one owes anyone, right? So that's how you do it. And don't go in there like you must know it all now and what not. Just go in there and ask them humbly, guys, I foresee a situation whereby I owe SARS. Or you can just tell them, in the last 2 or 3 years, I've been owing SARS money, and I think it might be because of fringe benefits, or whatever the case. Can you please increase my tax? That's how you do it. Simple as that. Anyway, let me get to fringe benefits. What are fringe benefits to begin with? Okay. Fringe benefits are benefits that your employer offers you that are over and above your salary or your wage. Now, in order to explain this further, I'm just going to give you a few examples of fringe benefits so that you know when you get that, it's a fringe benefit and it should be taxed and it's going to be included in your income, right? Now, receiving an asset or a gift for less than its value, right? So say for instance that you work for an accounting firm, and then every year your employer changes their laptops or their computers, and then when they do that, they sell the computers or the laptops to the staff. Now, if the asset is sitting in their asset register at a book value of 2,000 rand, but then because you are employees, your the accounting firm sells the laptops to you at 1,000 rand. The 1,000 rand that you did not pay is a fringe benefit. So remember, that's an asset and the value of the asset is 2,000 rand, but your employer is selling it to you at 1,000 rand. The other 1,000 rand that you did not pay, it's called a fringe benefit. In other words, if you were not working for ABC accounting firm, you would be buying the same laptop, obviously with everything the same, at somewhere else for 2,000 rand. But because you are working for ABC accountants, you're getting it for less. That is called a fringe benefit. So this is, like I said, the definition I said earlier is anything you get from your employer that is over and above your salary. In other words, something that you get because you work there. If you weren't working there, you weren't going to get that. So if you weren't working there, you were not going to get a laptop at a discount of 1,000 rand. A laptop that costs 2,000 rand at a discount of 1,000 rand, unless it's Black Friday. But anyway, so that's a fringe benefit. Receiving a gift or buying an asset for less than its value. Now, Personal use of an asset for private purposes. For instance, some people are lucky enough to work for very wealthy people. As a result, you find that their bosses will be like, you can have the jet for the weekend, right? That is the use of an asset, right? That is a use of an asset for private purposes. You take the jet and you take your wife or your girlfriend or whoever, you take them out. You're using the asset, the business asset, but you're using it for private purposes. In other words, you wouldn't go again to a company that borrows out jets and say that, can you guys borrow me a jet? I want to take my girlfriend out. No, you wouldn't get that for free. You would pay for it. But because you're working for ABC accountants and the boss likes you, or whatever the case, or you have a great relationship, he's letting you use the company's private jet for your private use. That is a fringe benefit. It should be included in your income and it should be taxed. Okay. Use of a motor vehicle. This one is the most popular fringe benefit. That's why people have to have logbooks. That's why if you don't have a logbook, then you become say, like, I don't even want to say, like, you become, not having a logbook like means trouble for you, because in most cases, like 99.9% of the cases, you end up owing SARS, which is why if you are using a motor vehicle for a company for business purposes, you need to have that logbook, because if you don't have the logbook, then SARS assumes that you are using it for private purposes only, and that is a fringe benefit, and that needs to be included in your income. Very important, guys. And when it comes to logbook, as I always say, please, even if you're using your own fancy logbook, just make sure that it's very similar, or the information that the logbook is giving is the same as the one that SARS wants in their logbook. And by the way, I think SARS has changed the requirements for the logbook. We need to check out the new logbook. You need to go to the SARS website and check out the new logbook, or what else SARS has added that they want, because they're forever adding something else and adding something else as well. So go check that out. Meals and refreshments. These are fringe benefits. I don't know if you know, I remember in Parliament, there was a hoo-ha because people in Parliament were getting free lunch. And people are saying that that's just not necessary. And I agree, it's not. But anyway, if you're getting free lunch and refreshments at work, that is a fringe benefit, and it should be added into your income. Very important. And guys, this benefit, people often confuse it with when you are getting money for lunch when you are going out of town. It's not the same. I mean, when you work in Port Elizabeth or Gqeberha and you are getting refreshments and meals at work for no reason, because you're an employee there, then that is a fringe benefit. I'm not talking about when you have to go out of town and the company has to pay you for going out of town. Now, free or cheap services. Now, with this one, say for instance, again, you're working for ABC accountants, and you have say for instance, you have a private company that you are running outside of your job, and ABC accountants does the financials and the returns for you for free. That is a fringe benefit, because if you were not working for ABC accountants, then if you went to another accounting firm, you would pay for those services. So whatever is going to be added into your income is the amount, market rate related amount of those services. In other words, if they're doing financials for you and they're also submitting income tax returns, what do they charge clients for that? Clients that are your size for that. If they charge them, say 10,000 Rand, then 10,000 Rand should be added into your income as a fringe benefit, and it is taxable, right? Low interest or interest-free loans. This is a big one again, guys. Be very careful. I know there are a lot of companies, especially now because of COVID-19, a lot of people are struggling. So companies are trying by all means to actually help their employees. Be very careful, guys. If the interest that your company is charging for borrowing you a loan is less than the market related interest, then what the difference is actually a fringe benefit, and that should be added into your income, and it is taxable. Even worse, if you are getting an interest-free loan, which is what most companies do actually. If you are getting an interest-free loan, then the interest part of it should be added into your income as a fringe benefit. Because remember, if you were not working for ABC accountants, then you would be getting a loan from the bank or any other financial services, and you would be paying interest on that. So remember, fringe benefit, whatever you're getting because you work there. And you must always ask yourself, so if I didn't work here, would I be getting this service or this product for this amount? If the answer is no, then the difference is a fringe benefit. Okay, yeah. And then another one is an employer contribution to a medical aid, retirement payment, or medical costs by an employee. Also, this one is very popular. Companies contributing to your pension fund or provident fund. Very, very popular. Most companies, when they make an offer to you, they'll say that they actually use this to actually make the offer very juicy. But always remember, it's not the bottom line. Yes, it's going to help you in future when you retire, but then contributions to a pension fund right now, they're not the bottom line. They're not what you're going to take home. But then most employers, they always use this to make this the offer very juicy for you. But this is basically when the employee pays pension fund for you or medical aid contributions for you. Most companies say that will match whatever you're paying for pension fund, and for medical aid they normally say that will pay 50% and you pay 50%. Again, these are fringe benefits and they're added into your income and they are taxed. Then another one is a payment of professional fees on behalf of an employer. When I was in corporate, the company that I worked for used to pay for my SATE fees, annual subscription. They would pay for that, and that was a fringe benefit, and it would be added into my income. And then the last but not least one, uniforms or an allowance for uniforms. Now this one, it can only be a fringe benefit if you do not have to wear a distinguishable uniform. In other words, policemen, they have a distinguishable uniform. You can't just rock up with your own clothes when you're a policeman. You have to wear your police clothes, right? Now, for those people, if the government is giving the police an allowance or it's giving them uniform, that is not a fringe benefit because it's a requirement for their jobs. I hope I'm making sense. It's a requirement for their jobs. Who else? Nurses, also they have their own uniform. I know with some other banks, they have their own uniform, which is like they'll have like a top, a muffler, and a skate. That is a requirement for them to wear, but it must be distinguishable. In other words, guys, like when you look at it, you must be saying, oh, that's a uniform for the police. When you look at it, you're like, oh, that's nurse's uniform. It must be distinguishable. If you are getting an allowance for uniform at work, but then you're wearing your own clothes, then that is a fringe benefit because it's not a distinguishable uniform. But when someone walks, sees you working there, they won't say, but oh, that is a uniform for employees working at ABC accountants. No, they're just gonna see someone wearing their own clothes. They're probably not gonna know where you work. If that is the case, then it is a fringe benefit, and you are going to be taxed on it. And it should be included in your income. So I was doing this one, guys, in order to make sure that when you are calculating what tax you should be paying, or when you are checking and scrutinizing your taxes and checking why am I owing so much all the time, just check if the fringe benefits that you are getting are included in your income and are taxed, because in most cases that is the reason. Again, If you like this channel, if you loved the video, I would really appreciate it if you click the like button. It helps the channel. And also I'd appreciate if you would subscribe and maybe click the notification button so that when I drop videos, you are able to see the videos that I drop. Thank you.